Hello, hello. Sorry, I had to go get a carrot out of my retainer. So it took a little bit longer to get back. But well, actually, it only was like 30 seconds past the when the countdown would have stopped. So I guess it's not nearly as bad as I expected. Okay, so I lost power on Tuesday. Not power, sorry. That's that's normally what I lose. I lost my internet on Tuesday for about like 5 or 6 hours, so my stream was cut short. I played like 10 minutes of Factorio, 10 minutes of Lethal Company, and then just... Hold on, the volume's too low? Why is the volume so low? Okay. Is losing power common? Yes. More common than I would like. We lose... It's usually not like full-on power outages. We get a lot of power surges. And we don't really have everything on a UPS, so that doesn't help. But yeah, sometimes we just lose power, probably a couple times a year. So it's more common than it should be, and it usually tends to happen during a stream. So that's fun. But yeah, losing internet is also common, so that's also fun. Yeah, let's go with that. There is no sound. Okay. So because there's not really any sound in editor mode, I have the Factorio soundtrack playing in the background. So that way at least, because I don't think music plays in editor, or maybe it just doesn't play often. So we just have the Factorio soundtrack on repeat, which seems fitting. I mean, for the most part, it doesn't sound that much different, except for, I think this playlist, I think this includes, it includes the trailer song, which is very upbeat and very, very weird to hear out of context. But this is the iron supplement I was talking about. We have a couple ways we could do it. So we could either send iron this way, but that removes the stub for most of these, I think. If we try to well, no. Yeah, we can yeah, never mind. That removes the stub from these. So I don't want to piggyback off the yellow, because then we would have to do stubs for those as well. But if we just pass an underpelt all the way through, it's only going to add like 40 actually, it's not even that many. It doesn't add that many entities, so that should be an easy solution. Internet has been down a few times, but the connection is still fairly new. Our connection is very, very old. That's the problem. That's why I stream at 720p 30, and it still has too low of a bitrate for that. Hopefully, we're looking into 5G internet, which I don't think is amazing because it would have a lot more dropped frames. But on the other hand, most of the frames that go through will be better, so we are considering that. Yeah, we have to be on a waitlist for it, so who knows if it'll actually happen. But the trial periods for those are pretty good, so if I don't like it, it's not like you're committed for a year. Heating going down is less fun. We it was like it was like 10 years ago at this point. One time we lost power and like to the entire neighborhood. It was out for like a week because of a really, really bad snowstorm. Yeah, yeah. They're rolling it out very slowly, so you have to be on a waiting list for it. We don't really have any we don't really have any regulations here requiring that you have like good internet like a lot of places do. So they can just do whatever they want. But it's not great. Like we can get 5G for like a phone, but getting it in home as the home, they don't let you do that. It's quite rough. Because if we lived in a place where where we could just buy 5G, we would probably also be required to have at least cable internet. Okay. Also, I need to figure out how I want to do coal. how I want to do solid fuel for this. There's a couple ways. I mean, there's really only two ways that are UPS friendly. So there is solid fuel, and then a solid belt of solid fuel. Let's not run in a 64 times speed, so that way I can actually move faster. So yeah, there's like the standard way where you have pure resources and they go through. This works decently. The only downside is then you have to split the resources at the source. I don't know if that's a bad thing because things will be connected automatically. You know, I'll just have a standard blueprint that has a standard set of probably red undergrounds that I connect just like in any percent, not any percent, in a normal 100% run. So then I'll just have 4 belts that I always connect and don't have to think about, and then that can connect to a splitter and sort the fuel that way. Or the other option is to do actually there's a couple ways. I don't think it matters. No, yeah. Okay, so technically I could also do it like this. So I guess that means there's 3 ways. 3 ways I can build this. So advantage of this one. Well, actually, hold on. Is there an advantage? There might not be an advantage. I think I originally thought there was an advantage. Let's find out. So this one, obviously, pure belts. Downside is I don't know what the downside is. The advantage is that the solid fuel can stop, but I don't know if that's really helpful. Probably not that helpful. This one is probably, these two are these two are fairly similar. This one is a little bit more stable. No, this one's more stable. But this isn't a coal patch, so it doesn't actually matter. They have the exact same stability. Yeah, this one's probably better for UPS. The only downside of this one, and it's pretty minor when I look at the whole patch size, but basically the downside of this is you have this belt on the end, which isn't going to have solid fuel on it, or this belt on the end, which isn't going to have fuel. So I either have to add like an extra chem plant at the end, which is probably what I'm going to do, or have a splitter. Actually, yeah, this one will need an extra chem plant. And then over here, we can either have another chem plant or a splitter. Both of them, I think, work pretty well. Probably want to do more chem plants just because more chem plants will help with latency anyway. And that's pretty important because it seems like we can get it down to about 10 to 15 minutes start time, which is really nice. Well, okay, 18 minutes. What was it? It was like 18 to 20 minutes, I think, when we didn't have a dedicated fuel lane. So yeah, that's reasonable. We definitely don't want to split the fuel any more than that. So this is probably what we'll go with. I was thinking this had a potential advantage, and it still might. So this has. I don't know if this would be better. This might end up being better for UPS, but probably not by a ton. But basically the way this one would work would be, these are all solid belts. So you would have to have, like a splitter here. And then copy that a few times. Okay, I feel like this is not the way to go. And then you would send the dedicated fuel belt past it, which would connect to a bunch of splitters here. So you would end up needing like 60 splitters. And I think that's possible, but I don't know if it's really worth it. It also will start very, very awkwardly, which I don't think is a problem per se, but it's weird. Whereas this one will start very, very consistently. Like every single row will start at the same time. This is gonna have like a weird cascading pattern, which probably does not matter. But yeah, this one, I don't know. I don't really know how big of a concern UPS would be here. Do I know how much fuel these take? Probably a lot. Oh my god, there's 2,500. There's 2,500 inserters here, and 500 steel furnaces. That's crazy. But yeah, I'll probably plan for this one. I have no idea how there are circuits here. What used to be here? There's just stuff on the ground. Weird. I wonder if I used cut rather than deconstruct for something. That sounds like something I would do. Yeah, these are the two designs. I am very unfamiliar with 100%. Actually, you know what would be a good idea? The advantage of dedicated fuel is that you can make left-right connections. What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean by that. The advantage of dedicated fuel is that you can make left-right connections. For inputting the fluid. Does inputting the fluid matter? I don't see the advantage there. Because the fuel is literally just... the only fuel we're connecting is petroleum. And we're just going to connect it like that or something. So I don't quite see what you mean. Also, it doesn't modularity. I don't think is that important. Like I could rotate it a different way, I guess. Because I mean, the outputs are going to be pretty standard. The outputs can turn. I guess if I want to, it depends how I want to output from the chem plants. Actually, no, I can't rotate anything, so I guess it doesn't. Since I can't flip anything, I don't think it matters too much how it's designed. But yeah, I need to look up the speed run for 100%. See if I can get blueprint book. Because I don't actually know how large they plan for. Copy, there we go. Download? Yeah, because they have like a ring they use, which seems to be a good size patch. Obviously it works for them, so if I should probably aim for that, roughly the same size. Yeah, I could always do 2 blueprints. The main thing is I don't know how much actually how many belts would I need for this? I would need a lot, wouldn't I? This would be difficult. Cuz I actually need I need like 50. I need like 28 of these going onto one belt. This would need to be like 3 belts wide. And I would need to have 2 belts. What is today's challenge? It's Thursday. We're not really doing a challenge. We're just designing the blueprints for burner 100%. But yeah, we only start meme runs on Monday generally, and we only finish them if I'm really bored and don't have anything else planned that week. But usually they're just Mondays or Tuesdays. But this will be for a much longer challenge that I do in probably not for at least a month, because I still have to design the entire base. The only thing I've designed is the chips, which admittedly is most of it, That is like the biggest hurdle, but there's still a lot to do. Burner 100% is not a meme. Yeah, no, that is actually what I'm designing. I've done it once, but it was without imported blueprints, so I want to do it again using just full-on 100% rules. And possibly with controller support, be able to download it or be able to submit it. We'll see. Okay, let's see. Does this work? Is this a blueprint book? Oh my gosh, how long is this? How large is this text file? This is 9. This is 9 MB text file for the blueprint string. How does that not just crash everything? I mean, I guess it's only 8 MB, but still, it feels very large for a text file. Wow. Okay. There we go. I mean, that makes sense. It has multiple. Okay. Yeah. Well, it is a very, like, it's a large set of staged blueprints and stuff like that. So it has, like, what is this, 25, 30 or so for the main base, and then other books for just connecting various things. What am I looking for? Mall 6 through 8? No. On patch? Underground? Oh, what the heck is this? Is this like an emergency belt production that they set up? Because that's kind of cool. For if they realized they didn't have enough belts for the outpost. Single radar, shifted stations, outposts. There we go. It's probably outpost. How do you? I'm assuming you're not expected to scroll through. I don't know how you're expected to use a blueprint within a book, like 2 layers. Oh, this is the wrong kind of outpost. In particular, if you add tiles. Oh, yeah, and a lot of these have tiles, huh? At least, I guess it's mostly the pipes for water. Pipes for oil, pump jacks. Which one is outpost? Oh, wait. No, there's no way it's this one, right? Am I just blind? Ah, there we go. Wait. It has to be something like this. I thought it was staged. Maybe it's not. It's probably this one. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, so this is what they plan for, which is a whole lot more. They can get 200 on a patch, and I can get 200 on a patch. But theirs are a lot better. So it's not a great comparison. We could consider triangle mining. That's probably not a great option, but it is technically an option, right? Oh wait, no, I think triangle mining only worked with the awkward pass-through strategy. I don't think it's an actual, like, viable option. I want to say it's not an actual viable option. Because this does make a perfectly balanced belt, which is cool because of how burner inserters work. They're offset, so their resources are actually offset, unlike these, which always output to the same side. But I think this only was a legitimate suggestion if I pass resources through, which is definitely not going to be good for UPS if I did something like this. It's very good for density. It's like 10 to 20% more dense, but I would probably limit myself like an entire outpost or two, so I can't imagine that will be good. There might be a way to get a normal belt in here, though. Probably not. It would be really cool if we could use this, but I can't imagine it's gonna work. Yeah, there's no way to get coal to all of these. And if I can't get coal to all of them, I definitely do not have increased density. But I haven't really tried. But that is not promising. Yeah, this doesn't feel like it is the be all end all solution? Yeah, we're not. Having to add the input inserters really makes this completely non-viable. So yeah, we'll just use this as the sizing. So if we could make it a circle, that would be great. Maybe. Because we need to make a circle around this. You believe you sent me a viable design, though it is terrible? Are you talking about are you talking about your triangle mining? This one? Where you pass the resources through them? Because that was great for density. It was like really good for density. If I wasn't aiming for 100%, I probably would use that. Because it's very dense. Like, it was very dense. The problem is UPS matters, and having 90% of the inserters working constantly doesn't sound great. It just does. Yeah, I can't imagine that's great. But I did like the design. I very much like the design. It was so cool. Yeah, it looks like we can do... Honestly, you know, the advantage... Okay, so I'm leaning back towards this design. Wait, I don't have it anymore. I'm leaning back towards the pure chemical plant. Because if I want to make it a circle, the chem plant option is definitely better. Or the dedicated belt is definitely better. Because then I can combine all of these as needed and compress them. Which would let me get a lot more out of a single patch. Which I think is necessary. Yeah, I think that might be necessary. Just because these are so not dense. Yeah, that would make it that we're leaning more towards this option, which works decently. This does have a slight brownout risk, so what I'm thinking is we solve it by staggering the inserters. So that way these aren't really fighting each other for the same solid fuel. At least not as much, so that would be a good fix. And by doing it this way, we don't have to worry quite as much about building a circle. But maybe the circle strat is just not important. It's very likely it doesn't really. What the heck was that? How did that paste that? uh, there we go. I had it staggered by 2 tiles. But yeah, having a circle is very nice because otherwise I can only really use the center. I say that as I'm looking at the most square patch I have ever seen. So like everything I've been saying feels meaningless. Because this is just, I guess that has to be a large patch, right? I don't know, let's see. If I put this over here. Honestly, this just fully fits on most patches. Honestly, this still almost fits on most patches. What about coal? Copper. Copper is a bit more of a problem, because we're going to need like 2 copper patches for every iron patch we have. Yeah, the water design is definitely something I'm probably just gonna use. Because that is the only way we'll be able to power this base. So yeah, I'm thinking copper will probably be connected with patches like this one and then like a smaller one next to it, which honestly not too bad. We just have to be mindful of mixed mining, which should be reasonable. We'll probably just have 2 blueprints, like a standard size copper blueprint and a smaller copper blueprint for supplementing it. Or we go for a smaller set. We could also go for a smaller outpost and do 1 copper patch with like the big copper patch I find, and then have a smaller blueprint for iron. It's also just fun looking at it. That's true. I haven't actually seen it. At least not that closely. Where is it? Pipes for water? No. Pumps for water. Where is it? On patch landfill, mixed mining. Wait, does this have blueprint books inside of it? Oh, that just has an icon of an offshore pump. Okay. Why can I not find it? Ah, this would make sense. Nuclear landfill. No, there's no way that's it. Is it? I don't think that one's it. Maybe it's in here. No, these are just the stage blueprints. Where's the pumps? I cannot find them. Pipes for water, compressor, on patch landfill, mixed mining, pipes, on patch underground. I do not see it. It has to be in here. Is it included with nuclear? Oh my god. Oh, yes, it's included. Okay, I see now. This would go here on the lake or something, right? This is where the landfill for the lake is. Yeah, this is a terrible, terrible seed. Oh my gosh. They just have pumps everywhere. This is fantastic. I don't even know if this is the full thing. It feels pretty small. Maybe not. It might not be that bad. Let's see. This is 60 offshore pumps. Oh, and it just slowly adds pumps. Ah, okay. So this is the full. Oh. Okay, so that's the. I didn't realize the pumps weren't added until later. I mean, I guess it makes sense that they're added as needed. I just kind of assumed they were all placed at once. That is great. Yeah, we're basically gonna be using this, but without actually having nuclear power on it, of course, because we can't, which is really sad. Because these nuclear plants are amazing. I like those. Are those 10 wide? 8 by 2. Yeah, just a tiny bit of water. We just need a casual 12,000. No, 120,000 water per second. Easy. But yeah, where was I? Right. I was trying to decide how to make the outposts. I mean, if I make a design that's circular, I only have to do that once. So it doesn't complicate anything. Especially since we're not passing fuel through a drill anymore. That helps a lot because when we pass stuff through drills, any gap in the ore breaks things. It's insane how small of a footprint that many offshore pumps has. Yeah, the fact that you can just build them in the middle of the ocean definitely helps. Just abusing, like, just leaving small squares for, like, a single pump. It is very impressive. I don't even know if that's the fully updated one. Imagine if you deployed it IRL in a lake. You drain the lake in milliseconds. They activate and the entire lake goes dry immediately. Let's see. A lot of these are very circular, but some of them are square. But most of them are circular. Yeah, okay. Okay, we'll design a circular base. How circular do I need it to be? Basically, I just need to cut the corners off of this and maybe make this center line a step longer. I mean, it's really not that hard to make a circle here, is it? Because we're basically just cutting off the corners of this and calling it good. And seeing how many drills we can get. And then we also... Mining productivity. This affects our calculations a lot. We're obviously going to get mining productivity 3. Mining productivity 4 is pretty cheap. Mining productivity 5, considering the run is going to be 12 hours long, I think we'll be able to research that pretty easily. Because that's only an extra, between the two of those, that's only an extra 7,500 space science, which is a lot, but we have 6 hours to research it. So we'll set up the outposts and then shortly after that, we'll probably just get a boost of like 10 to 20% to all the outposts. So that sounds completely viable. I don't think space science is incredibly expensive, because I mean, what is that? We only need like 50 science per minute for that, right? How many is that in an hour? 300 or 3,000 an hour. So that's 2 hours of 50 science per minute. I don't think that's a lot. I might be heavily overestimating that, but I feel like that's not a lot. Especially since that's not considering prods, which bring it down another like 20%. Yeah, we should be able to research that, no problem. Because like even if it takes half of the outpost phase to do it, it's still very significant. Like that's still 10% smaller outpost. That's pretty big. Okay, yeah, we'll plan for that. I think it gets pretty expensive on mining productivity 6. You think in normal 100% they don't care? Yeah, this isn't normal 100%. Burner drills effectiveness is extremely important for this. Um, Mining productivity decreases how many burner inserters you need. It's a very, very large boost to UPS. So we can't skip it. It's also just, we kind of need it. Like we can't afford to have larger outposts. So pretty much the only thing, there's very little in normal 100% that is going to be the same as burner. Just a heads up, most of the things they do there aren't super relevant here, because we're UPS limited like 4 times faster. There's not much you can do about that. It's great. Burner inserters are not good, ever at all. I would not recommend it. It is fun. It is fun, but yeah, they're quite awful, really. Is the only way I can describe it. But they're also quite fun. But yeah, we'll probably be doing mining productivity 5. Mining productivity 6 is an option, but mining productivity 5 just means we have to do 20 long, which means we'll actually need some red belt here with mining productivity. That's actually not that bad. But yeah, if we go for mining productivity 5, we can do 20 long patches. Wait, how many is this? How many rows is this? And how many rows is this? Burners have this distinct advantage. The distinct disadvantage of costing a lot more UPS for the same amount of work. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I think you can make an argument that that's an advantage. It gives you more fun. What are we building this around? 2 half lanes? Okay, and then I think this is what I wanted one outpost set to be, right? This is 1, 2, 3... Sorry, 1 red belt, 2 red belt, 3 red belt, 4 red belt, 5 red belt, 6 red belt. So 6 full red belts of copper. That is 20 drills with mining productivity 5 times 12. That's 200. I need 240 drills on a single patch to power this. You know, this is not that large of a square. I think I could justifiably do a square, because it looks like I'll be able to get this on most patches. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. And then I had the numbers. I don't remember what those numbers were. I want to say, let's see if it's in here. Let's see if it's in here still. 8.7 to 6.7 is the iron ratio. So what is that? 6.7 over 8.7 times 240. That means we need 180 iron drills. So realistically, we could just have two squares. Yeah, we'll have a different outpost for them. You can condense the dedicated fuel line if you use 2 underground belts. Oh, you just mean, yeah, for entity purposes? Oh, wait. No, you're right. That's how I used to have it designed. I forgot about that one. That changes things. I forgot we didn't do that. Um, yeah, there we go. We used to have this in our original base. We just forgot about it. There we go. Okay, so this isn't significant increase, but it is actually it's pretty significant. Well, okay. It's probably like a what, 10% increase? It's very expensive, but it is a little bit better. It's actually it's not that much better. Um I guess that makes sense because it's this grid 7, 8, so it's like a 10% increase in density, but might as well take it. We will need a splitter at the beginning, but that's fine. There we go. So we'll just add these. So that'll be decent. I don't like how we can't really do much about the edges without just like wasting a belt on the end, but I mean that's gonna happen. That's what happens with burner drills. You always have a wasted belt somewhere. And then I guess if I want to keep the pattern, wait, is that right? No, they tessellate every 2. I'll probably keep this one as undergrounds though. There we go. And then I'll just be able to copy this into the other side, and we should be good. Because now we can just copy this and flip it. Not like we really need to have the pattern right now, but I figured it would be easier to start with it, so that way I can tessellate it correctly if I go to a larger patch. Honestly, we should be planning around this patch instead. How long are these? These are only 12 long. This patch is terrible. Actually, that patch is really terrible, isn't it? Yeah, okay, we can be picky. We're realistically only going to get about 10 outposts. So I need another 8. Yeah, 10 is like the max we'll be able to get. It'll probably be more like 6 to 8. So we can be very picky. And then it's just gonna be doing nothing, I guess, for like 4 hours. Because I don't think we won't be able to expand the base indefinitely. Like we're going to become super UPS limited, and then we're gonna still have like 3 hours of circuit production. Okay, so this lets me get 280, which is 1 extra set. Cool. That's pretty decent. And then we just have to have splitters at the end. I haven't decided how I want to do the solid fuel pass through yet, but that's a problem for future me. Actually, no, technically I need to do that now. And then we had Kim plants that we're just gonna have outputting onto this belt, which this won't work. The start time is way too high, I think. Is it? Actually, is this bad? Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I think the start time for this is horrendous. Let's save on patch base. Did I save my Kim plant design at all? That had the numbers? I don't think I did. I might not have saved that. Probably because it was just a guess anyway. I wasn't too concerned with it. It's definitely not here. Original run, there's a chance that it's here. This isn't really how I wanted that to be set up, so that's not the one we're using. Yeah, I don't think I saved it. Oh well, not a big deal. Let's see. We can just do math. This is 2 going into 20. Well, plus these, which we can estimate. There are 74, but they only work like a third of the time, so we can probably say they're like 20. That's 170 kilowatts times 40. So that is 6,800 megawatts for just these. These each produce, I think, six megawatts each from petroleum gas. Sorry, not yeah, from petroleum gas. Because yeah, we'll just be sending dedicated fuel. Actually, that's not too bad. It is overdone by a factor of 2, but if not, yeah, we would have a massive start time. So doubling it makes the start time like four times faster. I think it's pretty big with how buffers work and stuff, or the internal buffers are. Yeah, that's totally fine. Another option. So this actually does waste a bunch of chem plants. Because the problem with this design is this fuel probably should not continue on to the main base. Or maybe it should. How how much am I worried about stubs? Because like we have two options here. We can do this, and then at the end of this, we can just collect these and send them straight through onto the main base. The downside is these will basically never stop moving. The other option is to send another belt around with dedicated fuel, and it wastes a bunch of chem plants this way. But these stop. There's also this option. Of just having splitters there. Which you said splitters aren't terrible for UPS, right? Having close dedicated fuel production close to the main outpost is good for startup time. So I don't want to connect two pipes because you got to remember pipes will be very manual and I'll be doing it with a controller. So I'm only willing to connect one set of pipes even if it means like an extra 400 belt. We could put it in front though, so that way it's between the two, but yeah, I don't want to have to connect a third pipe because I already have to connect a separate pipe for copper and a separate pipe for iron. I don't know if I really want a third. But yeah, we'll be doing this phase of the run entirely with a controller, so I don't trust my ability to place pipes and not go crazy. Your outpost will be connected to either the copper or iron patch. Okay. That's true. It would be connected to only one. In which case, I could put it like in the middle and have it go towards both. Yeah, I guess I was thinking I would have one blueprint or 3 blueprints that I pasted, but realistically I should probably just do one of the blueprints directly next to iron. Probably next to iron. It will probably be connected to iron because iron is what we use for this fuel belt. Although we're not going to be using that for the fuel belt anymore, so maybe it doesn't matter. We could do either. But yeah, good point. Because I'm thinking, so we could do something like this. That would work well. I can't imagine the pressure is going to be great here, but it won't be too bad. I mean, it's probably going to be terrible, but that's why we're right next to the oil refineries. We'll probably replace a bunch of these undergrounds. But yeah, if we do something like this, that gives us a very good start time, and all of the fuel makes it over here, which is nice. Have I calculated how much fuel I need here? Per row, or total? 534. Furnace uptime is pretty much constant. So that's 90 kilowatts times 500 plus The inserters are a lot harder to estimate because half of them are filling inserters. We can probably say it's like 30 kilowatts each. 30 times 2500 kilo. That's 75 megawatt? No, there's no way that's right, is it? There's no way. Is that right? 2600 times 72, but we're using 30 because that's probably a bit more accurate. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of fuel. I mean, I know it's barely even like a yellow belt of solid fuel, but it still sounds like so much. Because solid fuel is 12 times 15 for a whole belt. Like that's only half. That's only half it. It's only half a line, half a lane of that's only half a lane of solid fuel. So that would be, these are 6. You said it takes 30? No, you said, yeah, 30 for a whole belt. So this would be half a belt. Okay, so this design would actually work pretty good. Splitters are not very bad for UPS. They've been optimized a lot. Still worse than belts, but compared to burner inserters, they mean nothing. Yeah, that is a very fair point. We are comparing to the worst of the worst. Does that not work? That should work. Ah, I see. I see why it didn't work. We should probably put these on our hotbar because we're using them so much. There we go. That looks a lot nicer. It's not technically right at all, but it does look nicer. That's all that matters. Wait. Wait, something's off here. How did that get off? Okay, what did I do here? Ah, yes, I see the problem. I was like, wait, where did I get off? I was lost. Wait, is that not right? 3 wide should be perfectly balanced with the undergrounds. Yeah, they are. Okay, so I don't really know what happened there, but it's good now. We could technically, I could just output onto that one directly, right? We can afford to have one that's not solid. Yeah, that could be fine. And then we'll output onto the far side. Oops, that's not the far side. There we go. So that is 15 here, right? Nope, 12. Well, we can make it 15. And then 15 here, which is also not 15. But each produce 6, and we have 24. That is technically enough to run this, right? We have 280 times 150. Yeah, technically enough. This is pretty much the bare minimum, though. This is barely able to run it. So this should help. This will make it run a lot better. And then since these are going to be splitting off as it goes, we can definitely have this inserter here. It does not matter. This won't fill up the whole lane. We do want to belt prio. Oh, we also need to extend it this way and here as well. I like I like this just like forced onto the end. It's great. It just feels, I don't know, it feels off. Something about it just doesn't feel right to me, but I mean, I think it's fine. Okay, we'll add a prio. I don't think the prio really matters because we're not like pushing the limits here, but prio is always, I don't know, it's always nice for peace of mind. Okay, so that should be a bunch of dedicated belts. These output onto here. If we change where the inserters are, we might be able to reduce, yeah, we can definitely reduce the belt count here if we want. And then let's see if we can get one more. Okay, actually this is that's not too bad. That is 34 chem plants. If we can fit one more on the end, that would be a perfect full belt on that end, and probably a full belt here, which is very, very manageable. And then I'm assuming we can't just do this. Probably not, because I'm pretty sure the ratio is 1-to-1. That's pretty close. That is pretty close. But no, I don't think we'll be able to do that. I think we'll just go through. Maybe this should be separate. I'm not really sure where this should be. I do like it being combined with the iron, and then the outpost will be probably right here in the direction that iron goes, which could cause a problem. I'm not really sure how to pick the direction for the outpost. But this is pretty clean. Oh wait, doing it this way, you do waste a lot of entities, because you can't use undergrounds. If I stagger them, that would work though. It would be ugly, but if I stagger them just a little bit... that was the wrong direction. I didn't stagger them at all. Then you can use undergrounds here, so that would probably be worth it. So this is 20 into 35. So we have a couple options. We could use speed modules. I can't imagine that's a good option. 100% staggering. Yeah, it was very staggered the first time. Very, very good. Actually, is that better for... I mean, it's less entities, but is it better for... it probably isn't better. I was gonna say it might be better for... I can't think of the word. Cargo wagon. It might be better for filling cargo wagons, or the same for filling cargo wagons. Because these stack to 100, these stack to like 50. So we're not... we're replacing 4 with 2, so the amount in the wagon will be exactly the same. But at least the entity count is going to be lower. And then we can do undergrounds here as well. We can also do undergrounds here. No? Ooh. Right, that's a bit different, huh? Okay, I don't think we'll be able to do undergrounds there. We'll be able to do like 2 and save like 2 entities. That's probably not a good idea. But yeah, this is all right. If I really wanted to, I could put these here instead and make it a little bit more compact vertically, but I don't think that matters. Oh wait, this is an option I didn't consider. I mean, it doesn't need to be pretty. It should also be better for UPS, as fluids care about fluid boxes and splits merges. Oh, staggering is better? Well, that's a nice advantage then. Okay, so there we go. This should be 27? That's not the ratio. It's like basically 1-to-1, so we really just need to cover this whole thing. Yeah, that's all right. I like how, oh my gosh, for running this outpost, this solid fuel is like such a massive percent of the base like area. Because this is what's the grid on this? About 50 by 50, and then you throw in the fuel production for it, 75 by 50. It's like 40% larger. No, it's like 60%. 60% larger now. Cool. That's a very, very good design. The fluid calculations are too accurate. UPS counts on into the usage reports lies. Are hard to accurately, okay. Cool, so we can't trust anything, got it. These are facing the wrong way, aren't they? It doesn't matter. Actually, yes, it does matter. If we can just do this. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that is decent. That is all I can say about that. It is perfectly decent. Or if I wanted it to be less messy, I could just do a row here and then a row here, and that would also work. But I like it. I don't think this is going to be I don't think this is a very important thing to be concerned with at the moment, because this is very flexible. Unless we increase the size of our base, then it's less flexible. But yeah, this is the easiest part to just change as needed, because it's on the edge of everything. So as long as I'm okay with fuel being distributed this way, then I think we're good. It's in a thread, so the report just says it started the thread. Well, at least it's on a separate thread. I imagine that helps. Yeah, I like this. I keep saying that, but I don't know if I believe it. And this is 280 divided by. This is actually 7, isn't it? Yeah, this is 7. So I can actually increase the size of this by 1. Of course, I choose the one direction I can't go because of the starting wreckage. Perfect. Yeah, this is cool. I completely forgot about the compact design. I used it regularly in my Birder 100. I just completely forgot it existed because it's not a good hand building design. It's a great bot design. But yeah, I slipped my mind. We still need to add power poles. I think with substations that will be very easy, right? Where are substations at? Ooh, maybe it's not as easy as I thought. Wait, does that power that? Ooh. That's tempting. If we just delete a couple of these, I think we can power things super easily, which I do like. That powers all of those. And then this one can be changed, and then this one can go here, and we can just change where the splitters are. That powers everything with 6 substations. That's actually pretty nice. Is there any chance it is worth it to add beacons? Possibly. I don't know much about beacons in terms of fuel efficiency, but we could consider a beacon design. Well, okay, it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be that fuel efficient. There is there is an option of deleting a beacon later, like as optionally once things back up. That's actually not a terrible idea, I don't think. Because like we could have the beacon, right, in the design. Honestly, even with speed mods, let's see, they work how much faster? Oh, they only work 20% faster. We could probably do speed 2s. We could probably do speed 2s. It still costs a lot of power. Power is going to be such a problem. How much is this up to anyway? 33, 33. So if it's this size, that's 84 plus 42. That's 120 times 33. Which is not much. That's like 5. That's like 5 steam engines. It's not going to make a dent compared to this, which is, I think we calculated, I think it's about 200 megawatts or something. 150, 200 megawatts because all the assemblers only work half speed. If we were to increase this, it's going to be increased by 300. So that would be 15. If we do beacons, it's going to be 15 extra steam plants. Or, right? About 15 extra steam engines. But they'll drop to half once the base is running, which is nice. And we can even delete the beacons. if we really wanted to, just to make it that there's no extra power and then they go back to being fully efficient, which I do kind of like that idea. That would make it a lot more compact. I don't think we'll have inserter speed issues with beacons either, so yeah, it's an option. Beaconed, we can't get water out here, so if beaconed basic oil processing is a hilarious concept, I really like it. But yeah, this looks like, well, let's test. Okay, we can get pretty much all the drills here. Pretty much all the drills here. Well, we might miss like 2 drills here and there. But what we could do is we can go for mining productivity 6 just in case. And once that procs, everything will start working fully again. But yeah, I don't think that will be a concern. And then iron will be a smaller outpost, so that doesn't matter. So we just go for big copper patches where we can get pretty much most of these drills on it. And yeah, that's 7 red belts. Which means we actually need to... Wait, is it 7 red belts? Hold on. This is a full yellow, this is a full yellow. Sorry, 7 yellow belts. Wait. 7... Hold on, what's a yellow belt? 40 is a yellow belt. 40 is a yellow belt. 7 half red belts, right, that's how I count things, right? Wait, how much does this power? Wait, is this smaller than I thought it was? It's, I'm not used to the dedicated fuel, and that's throwing me off. I think this might actually only power 4. Wait. 1, 2... 1 red belt, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, wait. Our outposts are going to be a lot smaller than this, aren't they? Honestly, with how large this is, we could connect 2 sets of resources to it. But yeah, 20 is a yellow belt, or half a yellow belt. So this is 7 yellow belts, which is not great. Can I get it to 8? Is there any way I can get this to 8? Because 8, makes sense. 8 is something I can connect. But 8 is a very awkward size. It's too long for the most part. Yeah, there aren't that many patches that can fit 8 rows. I guess I can just scale it down to 6. And do 1, 2, 3. So 3 of these. This will be 1 outpost. Which means the fuel requirement is actually a lot lower. Also, these are roughly the same width. Honestly, that's a perfect size. That's actually a really good outpost. I like that. It's really close. The fuel's really close, so we would just have a spot where we connect the copper. Just pretend this is copper. Or iron. It doesn't really matter which one I do first. I wish we could beacon the I wish we could beacon the burner drills. Yeah, these are basically the exact same width. But that does decrease our fuel requirement by 30%. It's actually pretty huge. Because this no longer needs to power this entire thing. It only needs to power 3 rows of it. And 3 rows of it is only 1,300 inserters. That feels... So I would be connecting 15 to 20 outposts is what it's looking like. Is that right? If each outpost set would be 200 green chips per hour. Or no, 250k drink. 200 green chips per hour. 1 green chip every like 30 seconds. 300... Yeah, it's about 250. And I would need... My goal is 4 million? So I would need... Or my goal is like 4 to 5 million. So that's 20 outposts. 16 to 20 outposts. That's actually reasonable. Because I'm regular 100%, they do like 20, right? It's just, they're much better. They look like this, which is... Wait, is it much better? Actually, I mean, they're better. Don't get me wrong. They're better. But if this is about 3 red belts, this is 4 red belts. They get 14 to 15 outposts? Really? That sounds so small. Because this isn't that much iron. Is this not their... Is this not their resource count? I guess, wait, how long do they... What's their end production? Anyone know? Because I guess they do only have like a 3-hour window to get it. Well, what is it? Yeah, because they start outposting like halfway through the run. Like resource-wise, this is only 30% more than this. Obviously, the inserters themselves are better, but in terms of raw iron going in, I don't see a huge disadvantage to my burner drills, which admittedly it's because they have a 50% prod bonus, but you know what we can get. Quite sure they get at least 20 and up to 25. Yeah, for some reason I'm picturing like the number 21. Unless you're like, if you're new to the game, it's probably more like 15. Is there any way to count it? Probably not. 20 to 25 would make more sense though. Because even if this is only producing 30% more than what I'm producing, that means they would, if they only got 10 or 15, that means they'd only get up to like 3 million green chips per hour. Or I'm just off by a massive factor because I forgot how red belts worked. That's possible. But yeah, this will do. I think I'll probably cut one row because I don't think I can do anything with the half lane, can I? Actually, I could do a half lane. That's not an option. If I think I can I can supplement this and make this a little bit longer with an extra half lane, that would be nice. We'll come back to that. That part isn't too bad. And then basically we'll have a toned down version of it for iron that will go something like, oof, this is a terrible patch. But something like this. Well, let's delete these, move these inserters, which should be staggered here. We'll put those later. There we go. This doesn't work. There we go. Now it outposts. Now it outputs. And then these are only going to be powering copper. Like these will only be powering copper, which means we don't need these or these. We only need this set here, which is too short. But because these will be, there's going to be a variable distance between the outposts, we can't have these on the same blueprint easily. What I could do is just send this fuel to copper, which would add, they're probably going to be like 200 tiles away, right? 100, 200 tiles away. That's not too bad. That's a minute of fuel travel time. Because I'm trying to think, I want to, like I did mention, I want to reduce how many pipes I have to connect. Especially because realistically, there's just going to be, like, I don't want to have to do a bunch of pump jacks. I mean, I guess I still will. We're gonna leave that actually. But we could have this there, or we can split off of it and send this to the iron patch. And basically the way it would work is we would have a blueprint like this, and then a return blueprint here with the copper ore. So we'll just do this part by hand. No, it's the trailer song. There we go. But then we would just drag this connected to the copper patch, and that will give fuel to the copper patch. That doesn't sound terrible. That really doesn't sound terrible. The start time for copper is going to be incredibly high, but we need we need everything else anyway. It's something to consider. It's either this or I connect another belt or another pipe. But I do like the idea of just having one set here that I connect that takes care of fluids over here. Or I guess hold on, there's another solution, isn't there? I can just put the pipe in here too. I don't know which is gonna be worse for UPS and stuff, but yeah, this is also an option. Just send the fluid through there, so then I don't have to think about the connection that much. Okay, both decent options. We're just gonna continue this across, pretend we actually connected it. We're gonna actually have blueprints and make sure we rotate it the right way when we actually use this. But yeah, that'll get the fuel close, so then we can just connect a pipe here. There we go. That's reasonable. They get 20 outposts, just checked. Okay. So that's a reasonable goal for me too then, especially since the run's going to be like twice as long. 20 outposts is actually very reasonable then. How many did I get in my original? I like how I haven't actually done the on-patch base yet, which was what I planned to do. Let's see. Original run. This is the original run. Oh, and we did make one of these, right? Oh, we made this towards the end of the run. Flash editor. Yeah, I'm probably gonna become a robot briefly. This is the headroom we had on our original run. One outpost would have dropped it to sub 60. And I think that's mostly because we deleted some of the base too. So yeah, we completely throttled our computer. Oh geez. Okay. It did not pause. Yeah, and this is after things stopped. So yeah, we were not doing good. Okay. What am I trying to count? I'm confused how the game can be played without furnaces and inserters. I don't understand the question. Without furnaces and inserters. Is that unrelated to what I'm doing right now? Okay, statement. It's a question. Kind of. It sounded like a question. Like an indirect question. But if it's about this run, I'm not sure what you're talking about. You confused how the game can be played without furnaces and inserters. Yeah, this has nothing to do with no inserters or furnaces. These are the rules. It's basically just I'm not allowing myself electric inserters, or I'm not allowing myself electric inserters, I'm not allowing myself electric furnaces, or electric drills, which drastically decreases how good your base can be. But we still use furnaces and stuff. We just use like fuel-powered ones. Yeah, electric. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I was like, I was pretty confident I had the word electric in there, but I wasn't entirely sure. So, is it correct? Let's see. Without placing electric drills, furnaces, and inserters. Okay, it's one of those weird English rules. It could be interpreted either way. That sounds painful. What, this? Yeah, it's not great. It's fun though. The goal for this, I think we could design a base for 10 hours. Realistically, it won't be 10 hours, but I think I could get it to 10 hours at some point. Which is why it's mostly going to be... It's the limited bots that hurts? No, the bots don't affect anything. I don't use logistic bots for anything other than personal deliveries. I don't like them. So for me, that doesn't really change anything. That has no effect. That's just because people ask. That's the only reason that's pointed out. Personally, I wouldn't use them regardless of if I allowed them, because I don't tend to use them for designs. But yeah, how do I count these outposts? No, just logistic bots. We're not doing it botless. We would not be designing blueprints. We wouldn't be designing blueprints if we were doing it completely botless. This would be a waste of time. I cannot. I'm not going to hand build these outposts. They're not designed for hand building. Burner inserters is the real pain. Yeah, burner inserters is the biggest problem. And if we did have logistic bots, it would let us do a very easy mall or like LVS. Those things could be pretty easy. Uh, I don't think it would be that useful outside of that. The main thing is it would simplify building them all. Just slightly. Actually, probably that. What is the burner inserter power consumption on this run? Like how much fuel are they using? Good question. Let's see. Over the course of, let's say, the past 10 hours. We were using 15,000 coal per minute, which is about, like, a lot. I'm pretty sure that's like 600,000 per hour. 15,000, right? I want to say it's about 600k. That's just coal though. I did also use solid fuel, so that helped a little bit. But between the two of them, we were using about 1 million fuel. And if we look at our power grid, we are only consuming about 500 megawatts, which is 5 belts of coal. So not much of our fuel was going into power. We also had these, but that was just to see if they would work, and they were not useful. Also, I don't know. The only reason I placed those is because I was actually running out of fuel. I was running out of water. Because I didn't use blueprints here, I wasn't able to make like a good pump system to maximize how much water I got out of this. So I kind of ran out of ways I could connect water. But that's the downside of playing without a blueprint. Like, I wanted the first attempt to be blueprintless because that seemed fun to do at least once. And there's a reason it took almost 30 hours. But the new design should be more UPS optimized. Should be able to get about 50 to 100% more green chips per hour before I become UPS throttled. And obviously I won't have to think as much about it, so I'm expecting 12 hours. I'll also be using a controller for the second half, which is not going to be fun, but I don't think it'll affect the time that much because I'll just be pasting blueprints. Yeah, I have no idea how many outposts I have. Let's see, this is one. Oh, wait. Is that how I did outposts in the original design? I guess since I didn't have a blueprint. So my outposts in the original design were actually bigger than an any percent design. Or sorry, the normal design. Because I was using 2 patches of copper for everyone. That's not an option. Like, that is something I could do. I don't know if it's that important, but it is something I can do. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have no idea what that is. Did we only get 4? I mean, these are pretty massive outposts. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay, we got 5. Each of them are equivalent to 2. Okay, so we got about probably like 8 to 10 equivalent outposts. Which, yeah, that tracks. If our new goal is 15 to 20 with our UPS estimate, yeah, that should be a reasonable goal. Still, oh yeah, and this is oh yeah, we did end up using your design, Tice. It was not good because it doesn't work if the patch isn't contiguous. Is that the right word? Or is that how you pronounce it? Contiguous? I feel like it's contiguous. It's definitely contiguous. But yeah, it doesn't work if there's any gaps. But yeah, this didn't help with the UPS. This is a terrible way to design a base. It's fun though. It is contiguous? I don't believe it. It could be. Okay, I looked up the pronunciation, but I don't understand. I've never understood how to read dictionary pronunciations, so it doesn't help. Yeah, I'll go with that one. You're a math major? That usually isn't used to sell pronunciation of a word, but that word does sound like it would be used in math a lot, so I feel like that helps. But I've never seen that argument before. I wish you're an audiobook narrator? That's fun. I wish I could speak well enough for that. It is used almost all the time in math. Yeah, yeah, that's why it sounds a lot more valid. It just doesn't this sentence doesn't seem like it should make sense if you just don't think about what the word means. So it just sounded fun. Okay, so yeah, we can do we could do two small copper patches and a big iron patch and connect it to roughly we could do a base this size, or we can do one copper patch and a small iron patch and connect to a base that's 3 long. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. In terms of bot queue, probably the other way around would be better, because that'll give me time to actually walk between the bases, and this is a lot of entities for a single outpost. 3,000 inserters? That's 60 stacks of inserters. That's an entire train. Is that an entire train full of inserters? I can't get over how silly these designs are. Like, they're good designs, I think. Oh, wait. Oh, does 100% do this? Wait. Is that actually a good way to do pump jacks? Huh. Cool, that'll help. I was thinking about doing something like that, but I wasn't sure if it would actually be beneficial. But yeah, we'll have to connect oil to every single outpost, so a blueprint like that will be very good to have. What am I looking for? On patch underground. Okay, so if this is the outpost, that's not the outpost. That's the train outpost. This is base. Okay, these are the drills for the outpost. Or are these not the drills for the final outpost? Is it this one? These are variations of it. Okay, I feel like we're close. I feel like we're close. Nope, I don't. I don't see it. I do not see where the outposts are. Then they do some quick math to estimate which pumps jacks to connect. Yeah, we'll need to figure out the resource requirement. We won't be doing any math. We'll just be connecting them all. I'm going to be on a controller. Like, I need to put all of my focus onto trying to use a controller, because the controller support in this game it's not well implemented. Yeah. But it will make it that I can do the run. That's the important thing. It's just, there's going to be some struggle at the end, which is why I'm thinking larger outposts would be better. You can navigate up in the book at the top of the UI. You can navigate up in the book at the top of the GUI. You mean like searching? Searching would make sense, but I don't know. Up the book. I don't know what that means. Oh, so I don't have to keep clicking out. Gotcha. Ah, I see. Just like going to the previous page. I didn't even notice I was doing that. Okay, one of these has to be the outpost. Like, obviously one of them has to be the outpost. Unless it's a separate blueprint book, but that sounds weird. Pipes, compressors, upgrade planner, pipes for water, mixed mining fix, on patch, base, outpost. Did I like just throw it on the ground somewhere? There's no way I'm this blind, right? maybe I'm thinking of these icons too literally. Ah, I am. I am thinking of the icons too literally. This one. These are the outposts. Oh gosh. Okay. Oh wait, so does that mean they expect to get larger patches? How many belts are these? Uh, yeah, I don't know how many belts this is. Okay, that is 30% larger than this one. Wow. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Oh, it's a green circuit symboler. Ah. See, in my mind, I think it should look like a steel furnace, but obviously that doesn't make sense for an actual design that can use not that kind of furnaces. What am I trying to check here? Yep, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. They use like half the entities for like 50% more production. Yeah, like inserters alone are half, but all the other things are lower too because they don't need as much belt. But yeah, we could probably go for slightly larger patches if I decide to go back to the circle, considering a circle, but I don't think I care that much. And then we also need a starting base. I think this is good for the outpost right now. Because I don't want to just do outposts. They'll have to be refined as they go anyway. But yeah, oh, compressors. Compressors is literally just laying compressors for when they're connecting resources. The advantage of having inserters that are 4 times faster. 4 times faster, and you don't need to double up on 30% of the inserters because you don't need any self-feeding. Are you going to be playing on Steam Deck? I will be playing on here, and then I'll be switching to a Xbox controller and finishing it from a different chair for the last like 8 hours. But it'll be done on my PC. There's no way I could do it on a Steam Deck. That would take like 2 days or a day. Yeah, for the comfy, exactly. Because like UPS is pretty powerful. I don't think it would be able to run this base at 60 UPS for very long. Because yeah, we get bottlenecked at 4 to 5 million chips per hour. I don't know. I don't want to think about what it would do on a Steam Deck. Maybe I'll have a friend test it at the end because I'm curious. Like how reasonable would it be to do on a Steam Deck? Once I get the full base complete and know how and know how large it will be. But I'm estimating 4 million, 5 million chips per hour. Yeah, we need an on patch. So the starter base is okay, it would be up here. Obviously we'll need a base, which we don't really want to build right now. You've been running your mega base on GeForce Now. Is that do they have like a streaming? Is that like the Nvidia like rent a PC thing or stream cloud gaming? That's the word. Is that like a cloud gaming service? Nvidia streaming. Yep. Okay. Those those seem really cool. I wouldn't know because I live in a world where my internet's terrible. So there is no hope of us ever getting cloud gaming. But I think conceptually it sounds really nice, especially for games like this, where it doesn't, it's not that reactionary. Like, unless you're fighting biters, stutters aren't gonna cause problems. We just have really bad internet. So we have to take what we can get. They have server style CPUs that have good stats for UPS. Nice. No, that sounds like you could make some fun bases with it. I wonder what would happen if you tried to submit a speed run using that. Like, I don't. Would that be valid? I mean, you're just streaming, like remotely playing a game. I feel like that's not really something that's ever been possible, really, for a lot of a lot of speedruns. Yeah, it probably would. I wasn't sure if it like was in the realm of emulation, but probably not. It's just like remote access. But yeah, um, we need a starter base, and it needs to produce underground belt. What all does a starter base need to produce? It needs red science. It needs probably pipes and boilers, although these are probably going to be hand fed. So things for the power plant, offshore pumps, yeah, these will just be hand fed. Obviously green chips and gears, because I'm just trying to make that on patch base that you normally start with. But obviously our requirements are different, because instead of drills and inserters, we need this and this, which complicates things. I'm gonna turn off the blinking for now. There we go. Okay, so everything for power, science, unless it gives you an unfair advantage, most wouldn't care. Yeah, the only advantage would be if you could do like twice the size on 100%. But that sounds, I feel like the headroom now for the base is large enough that that's not really an advantage. At least not with modern CPUs. I feel like the current gen keeps up with the base pretty well. Of course, that's until they forego all optimizations for UPS and just go back to building like the largest base possible. To maximize their like, what is it, X3D 78,000 probably. I don't think it's that high yet. Okay, power plant, good. Intermediates, good. Science, good. Building. I think this is everything. Oh wait, and red undergrounds. And splitters. Gosh, there is no spoon. Well, okay, we might be able to do without splitters. We can probably do without splitters in here. There is, what's the lazy bastard is a rough. Lazy bastard makes it that you have to at least have the ability to like hand feed these things. They don't technically have to be automated. These have to be automated. These 100% have to be fully automated. I use an absurd amount of undergrounds with burners. Splitters will probably, it's probably possible that I could do splitters hand fed to start. I think that would be fine. These will be direct feeding into the machine. So that helps. Because we can just do this. Give it an output inserter. And that should work. Honestly, this might not be enough furnaces. When you have to use furnaces for every drill, the furnace requirement, it gets really high. But yeah, something like this would work fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that might actually... Hold on, is that inserter limited? That might be inserter limited. Which feels weird to say, but these are not good. No, it's not. Okay. Like, these are pretty bad. Why not add the mod that allows burner assemblers? Because I don't like that mod. I don't like those mods. Also, I want it to be an actual 100% run. I said that like 5 times today, I think. Right? I don't know. I feel like I've mentioned it. Maybe I didn't explicitly say it, but I want to actually do a run that would be submittable to a leaderboard. I might submit it. I'm not sure. But I want it to be an official 100% run. And yeah, the mod makes things easier, so I don't want to use it. Because, like, the thing is, if electricity isn't required, there's only you're not going to like increase the complexity of any designs. You're just going to replace one inserter for every assembler you build instead of a power pole. So like it doesn't really change anything. It makes the coal distribution way easier because you don't have to balance your coal between power and stuff. You just send it one direction. So for the most part, it only simplifies it. and I don't think it adds any element of interesting. So I've always been not really on board with that mod. At least not enough. Like, I've never wanted to play it. Because the part that makes this interesting is the inserters. Making anything else require power fuel doesn't really do much. But it's a valid question. I get that a lot. So yeah, this should work. Oh wait, we also need power poles and cables, of course. Does this work? Yeah, okay, so we need this entire thing. These four need to come directly from the iron patch regardless. So that is a lot of gear assemblers. How many? I want to run all of these full speed. Fully automated. I don't think that's possible without 2 rows of, might not be possible without 2 rows. We'll see. We will be hand feeding. Will we be? Yeah, we'll probably be hand feeding the inserters. I think is reasonable at this point. So this could be gears. We can definitely give them like half a stack of coal to everyone. I think hand feeding would be a lot easier for a starter base, especially since I'll have a controller here. Or sorry, I'll still be using a mouse and keyboard at this point. Okay, this is... How much iron per second is this? This is half an iron per second. So yeah, realistically I should double up the sides if I want them to actually work, especially since I'll be needing so many of them. This does make Burner City a little bit hard to feed, but I think that's worth it. And then we can do another thing like this, just rotated for probably actually I don't know how to do burner drills. I mean, I guess I should probably do something like this. I could add a gap. You love watching my challenges? Oh, I'm glad. I really like them. If I had more ideas, I would definitely do them more often. But it's kind of hard to come up with ideas, so I usually just do, one a week. Although it helps that this one is such like it's such a large design undertaking that it gives me like I have to do it at least once or twice a week if I want to actually be able to do the run by like well, not next year, it's almost next year, like within a month or two. But yeah, the optimizations for like these kinds of things are so weird because they're different than normal Factorio. Like maybe this one is pretty similar to like a normal Mega Base. But then you do something like an on-patch design and it's just like you're trying to minimize rotations more than anything because inserters are so you need so many of them, like you don't want to have to rotate a ton. And fully automating it would double the amount of inserters. This is decent though. I think the only thing this is missing would be a chest here for gears, just in case they don't run full speed. Actually, are these... Let's see, this is 1. This is 2, right? 2, 1. That's 2 iron per second. That maximizes that actually maximizes this. That's actually not too bad. Okay, I like that. Let's see if we can copy that. These won't be steel chests, they'll just be regular chests. But yeah, this will work. Input. This will also get iron in it, but I don't think that's a huge concern. This is so many inserters. Or this is so many burner drills. Maybe I should look at their base, so that way I don't feel super overwhelmed. What does their starter base look like? That's not their starter base. This is the starter base. Okay, so their base looks like this. So maybe this is actually kind of reasonable. We'll just place it here. Okay. So they have 21 drills. That's equivalent to 40 burner drills. And they probably also have a burner city that is probably like 20 burner drills. Yeah, okay. That's... Yeah, that means I do need this to be pretty large. Okay. So realistically, I do need to aim for like 40 drills. So this is actually not too bad. If I design it a little bit differently, we have a couple options here. So I can convert the outpost later. I could send the intermediates to the main mall later. Or I could dismantle this entire starting base. So wait, actually, wait. Right. It's option 1, dismantle entire thing. Option 2 is flip the... We could just keep the drills. Keep the drills and nothing else. That probably doesn't matter that much unless we have a really small patch. So since we'll be re-rolling, I don't think that's a huge concern. Critically, their starter base makes most everything except the hand-fed stuff. Well, yeah, that's what this one is too. Unless you're talking about their starter base. But yeah, we're this has like half of what we need. Automated at least. I guess we're missing belt. So we might remove this. We might not double up, so that way we can have more flexibility here. I'll have to check. I'll probably just have to practice a little bit with the starter base to see what changes. Dismantle the entire thing. Leave it. Or send the ingredients to main base. Harder to set up. So yeah, we can just delete all of it. We can ignore it. If I have the drills set up correctly, we do have the option of just using them, like if the spacing is good, we do have this option later of converting it to just a regular iron belt that we send to the main base. I don't think that matters that much, but if we end up using like 40 drills, it probably does matter to try to set it up like that. So it's something to consider. That would make it that we would need an awkward spacing here, though, which is not great. And these will be set up with the non-dense drill version, since it's easier to build by hand. This is nice, because even... actually, if you set it up like this, you can do like semi-automation. Coal going directly into the burner drills is still really helpful compared to having to feed burner drills and furnaces, because coal lasts about twice as long in the burner drills, or sorry, in furnaces than it does in the burner drills. Yeah, then I would need to deconstruct the whole thing by hand. Well, I figured it wouldn't be until the bot phase when we would just delete it. But we do have a pretty big patch. We probably don't need to worry about deleting it. There is the option of just deleting part of it and flipping the... Like, if we staggered these here, we could just flip the outputs and just leave everything else. Then we would only have to delete these stone furnaces. But yeah, it's probably not worth our time. It's just... Would it be faster to do that, to dismantle this, or to go and connect another patch that's like 100, 200 tiles away later? Like, those are the options, which usually is not as significant of a concern, because when all you have to do is drag power, it's pretty easy to connect a patch farther out. When you also have to bring coal, connecting a farther away patch is a lot harder to balance. Oops. But yeah, we'll probably keep it up. This is a horrible base. Or a horrible seed. I'm gonna see if this is average. I don't think it is. Restart. Okay. Oh, that didn't keep it all of that. Oh, whatever, I'll just turn it all up. We don't need uranium. At least we don't need uranium. Terrain, water, water. Oh, we don't need trees off. We'll just turn those off. Okay, so this is literally just a random one, and it looks so much better. Okay, so we just chose a really bad map for designing things. Okay, well that's fine. We can assume we have a longer base then. So this feels like too much iron. Because I don't think I'll be building this fast. I really don't think I need the 2 layers here. Because this is 0.75 per second. Like, this is still pretty reasonable. Wait, why isn't this working? There we go. Don't know how that happened. But if I try to keep it like that, I think it would just be a bit unwieldy with how large it is. And then we need belts and we need under belts, which there is an option. We need a lot of regular belt too. I don't think we can use this belt. Well, okay, we're output limited, right? We might be able to just use this belt in this. Oh wait, hold up. We don't need gears there, do we? I feel like we need a dedicated belt assembler, especially since we're just so limited with inserters. So I'm thinking we flip this. Connects here. And then this makes regular belt again, and we don't need this many gear chests. We can move those. We can move them around though. Input, input, input. So that gives it 3. I think this is still going to overproduce some belt, so I might actually try to leave a gap here. Or I can mirror this. I might be able to mirror this somehow and share it. But for now, we can just do this option. And then if I wanted this iron, I can just put it in a chest. I don't think we're going to be concerned with things filling up. When we're getting 0.25 iron per second from a furnace, probably is not going to fill up. Okay, so this is probably all the belt I need. That's only 27 furnaces. That's actually not that bad. We do need to hand feed this a bunch of junk. So this will need probably a chest. Or, oops, not like that. Not like this. This will probably need a chest with furnaces in it. There we go. And that is, that's most of what we need, right? We're still missing, we kind of have gears. I think because we're iron limited here, we have extra gears. So we can probably say we have gears done. We'll see. But we'll probably need more gears. Gears are easy. Gears can probably just be hand-fed, honestly. I don't think we need an extra gear assembler anywhere. Oh, except we need one for science. Right. So I'm thinking for science, because putting stuff on a belt is rough. Because this is getting into a lot of things to hand feed. This is a lot to hand feed. Honestly, I think it might be worth setting up a belt. Setting up a whole belt. Like, I don't like the idea, but I forgot how spacious these furnaces were, so direct feeding is really, really bad. So instead, I think we'll keep this just because it's not terrible. I think maybe a better option would be to just have the starting furnaces and then throw this on the end for belts, specifically for belts and inserters. And then everything else doesn't matter. We don't need that many drills at this point. We mostly just need belts and inserters. And those can be automated while I'm connecting patches and hand feeding things. And that would keep it from being a bit too unruly, getting a bit too large. Copper is going to be weird too. We don't need a ton of copper, right? It's just for science, which means we need like 4 drills for copper. Well, science and power. We do have a couple options there. but this is not one of them. We have a couple options, and this is not one of them, unless we just hand-fed it. Burner inserters are bad enough that it could just make sense to hand-feed in the simpler forest. You also got to remember, though, I still have health issues, so hand-feeding is very painful for me. So hand-feeding anything that's more than like 10 things is very slow. So even if it might work, if your mechanics could hold up, mine won't. Or I can't risk it. So it would be better, but I don't think I could do it if I wanted to actually do the rest of the run comfortably. Because I need to get at least 2 bots. So I need to make sure I don't overdo. I need to make sure I don't strain myself so much that I can't do a 2.5, 3 hour stream. Because that's how long it will take to get to bots. But we'll see. If I can come up with if everything is in a line, hand feeding stuff isn't terrible. Like if I did like 4 times the assemblers I needed, I could hand feed. Which honestly might still be better than setting up burner automation, burner inserters. Because like hand feeding is only difficult if I have to do it fast. If I overdo it, I can hand feed really slowly, and that would help. And it still might be faster than inserters. So it's not an option. Like we could just do a bunch of assemblers like this that only get fed every like minute. It could work. It won't be efficient. It definitely will not be cheap, but it would be easy on me. As long as I did it in large batches. Small power pole. Why didn't that... Isn't there supposed to be an even pattern here? No, there's not. That's not right. Yeah. Maybe I would be able to feed something like this. I could try it. Maybe next week, once we get the... We'll make a... We might make 2 versions of Burner City. And see if maybe it's better than I thought it was. And then we can refine it later. That might be worth considering. How can I automate these? Yeah, direct feeding doesn't really automate well, does it? I could do something like this. Because I don't think we're going to be placement speed limited here. Yeah, we might not be placement speed limited. We're probably going to be resource limited for a while. Oh wait, that requires a belt. But we could automate. Can we automate? No, wait, this doesn't have a coal input, does it? No, it does not. No, it does not. We need another line here then, or another row. Yeah, these are pretty bad. There isn't really any way to convert the base, huh? Unless I just delete furnaces after a few minutes. We need at least some burner city. Because, like, there's not a good way to convert spacing of 2 tiles. Unless... Wait. I have an idea. We start burner city like this. And then we delete a row. And another row. That will take about 30 seconds, probably. That's an option. And then we convert it. So that way we can just get a little bit of burst production early to hand feed things. And then we can set these up. Which, I don't know. We can't automate it until we have... We can't do full automation until we have logistics. I forgot about that. We can't do any form of full automation without logistics. We have to hand feed everything. So this is already seeming not too great. But I do like the idea. I do have the option. I do technically have the option of just hand feeding the output. That could work. But this gives me iron. And then I think I would want coal on this belt. I don't normally like having things be self-feeding. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of self-feeding inserters. But I think for the starter base, since I'll be there to micromanage it, it's not going to be a big concern. So we should probably put coal on this belt as well. That means we'll need splitters here. But this is the starter base, yeah. The main base, we'll be using undergrounds instead of splitters, because those are a lot easier to scale and faster to build whenever you have a large set of them. Splitters are faster whenever you're only building like a few. Like something like this would benefit from splitters, but if I had to do 5 48 long furnace lanes, or 24 long, it depends how you count it, right? If I do 5 or 6 standard smelting lanes, that's when splitters going this direction start to be a little bit better. Yeah, this could work. This puts iron and coal on the same belt. And then, honestly, I could just... Can I just direct feed into this? I could just direct feed into a gear assembler. This doesn't have any advantage though. If I'm doing this much direct feeding, I don't think we really have a benefit at this point. It would be fun though. I do like how that looks. But yeah, the whole point is to share the iron belt. This is wow. The starter base is a lot trickier than I thought it would be, and we have, well, okay. The main base I don't think will be that bad. Like this part's tricky because it's really hard to figure out the ROI of like hand feeding versus actually building a burner drill lane, and we also don't have any mining like stack size boost yet, so just nothing runs. And we're super limited on resources, so splitters and underground belts really complicate things. The main base, I do have a design I like for most of the base, which is very scalable. It does waste a few inserters, but considering how few of the inserters are going to be in my main base versus the outpost, it's not that big of a deal, and it will make things so much simpler that it's worth it. I don't think I've shown it. Actually, yeah, it's been a while since I've shown it. So in my original design, this isn't the original design. It said outpost design, not original. Still not right. Oh, hold on, I have an inserter. Or, an inserter. I thought someone was asking about dinner. Oh, you sent me an idea? Well, that loads. This was the... I think this is right. Editor... Editor. Oh, wait, what is this? Oh, this was me trying to get the 1,000 tile achievement and trying to add a few tiles onto the end because I was a bit short. Right. Yeah, that sounds like me. So this is the main base, roughly. It uses 1,600 inserters. So, like, optimizing... Oh, wait, that wasn't right. 10,000 inserters. I kind of missed a section of it. It uses 10,000 inserters. It's a great train. I mean, it doesn't go anywhere, but it's a great train. But yeah, it uses 10,000 inserters. Actually, is that a lot? That might be a lot. Although a lot of them are unnecessary because this was just copied and pasted without blueprints. We could probably cut them back a lot by actually designing the base around stack size 3 from the start. Yeah, this is a lot bigger than I thought. So we're looking at... Well, I'm wanting to do like 20 to 30 of my outposts. Each one of them is 2,000. So yeah, about a fifth of the inserters will be in the main base. That's actually not insignificant in terms of UPS. But it also is a large base, so that's part of it. But yeah, the general design philosophy for the main base, which I think what I could do to fix it is only do this for the up to bots point. But I don't have any self-feeding inserters in the main base, unless they are only grabbing coal. So, for example, if we look at plastics here, this is self-feeding because it's only grabbing coal. That means it never has the risk of just dying, exhausting itself, because it can't get like one fuel and then keep running for like 10 hours without grabbing any other fuel if for some reason the belt dips low. Whereas if you were to put a self-feeding inserter here to add iron into the assembling machine, and then you run out of coal, it's still going to keep putting iron. Unless, like, if your balance is off for the coal, it's still going to keep filling with iron, and it can eventually exhaust itself, and it might never recover. So the general idea for this main base was to have rows of coal going through it on like a grid pattern, which made it really easy to tell where coal shortages were. It was really easy to balance where the coal was. Also really easy to build. It was really easy to build. I think that part was pretty nice. The only downside is it does use roughly about 20% more inserters. So if I'm really desperate for UPS, we could consider another option, but I think it is worth using. Mostly because it's very reliable, and bots build a lot of this base, and I'll be connecting things by hand, so things will constantly get like bursts of coal, and it might cause problems. So that was the general design idea for the whole base. Nothing was self-feeding, except for the furnace lanes. But even then, we had doubled up inserters here, just in case there were coal shortages, because we had those. Like, these can self-feed, but if you get coal in like precisely the right order, but not enough of it, you can pretty quickly exhaust the inserters, especially the ones at the end. I have no idea why these are missing inserters. Was I that desperate for UPS that I just cut like half of my starter base? I think I was. So yeah, who knows how large this base really was. But yeah, it worked really well. I think with bots, it will be very good as well, because we can just like have a grid that we copy everything, and then most of our time will be spent manually connecting coal patches. But other than that, the base will run very, very smoothly. We'll see. We'll see if we stick with that. We'll also need to redesign science. We might try the car approach, but I think that it's really expensive. It needs like 200 cars to kickstart science, but honestly, that's not that bad, is it? Actually, is that bad? How much does a car cost? I feel like that's not too bad. So a car costs about 100 iron. So we would be wasting 200,000 iron on cars to feed. That would be feeding all the higher tier sciences, though. That would be doing military, purple, yellow, and space science. And I think by that point, 200 cars is not that expensive. Or we could keep with this option, which honestly, I really loved this. If we set it up a little bit cleaner, it could work. Yeah, cars on a belt. The idea would be cars on a belt going around. And maybe it doesn't need 200. It might not too. That would be to saturate the whole belt. But the downside of that is, again, if fuel runs out, you're doomed. Which I guess is true for these builds as well. But yeah, there's a few ways I can do science. Starter science is probably going... starter science might be sushi. Are we sure this is not a meme? Look, it works, okay? When you don't have long inserters, you have to improvise. If you would prefer, we have this option of long inserters. I don't know if it's better, but it's definitely different. Honestly, I could just do that. But yeah, I probably don't need to. Yeah, the nice thing about a run with blueprint imports is you only have to be able to hand build up to blue science. That's 3 sciences, which really simplifies things a lot. So you can do whatever design you want for the last 4 sciences, and you'll be good. But yeah, I really liked the base. There are obviously some flaws, especially like I'm producing an insane amount of prod 3s that I don't use. I needed like 20 of them for science, and that's all. But a good chunk of the new base, when we redo this, is actually going to be going to efficiency modules and prod 1 assemblers. We'll need about 3,000 prod 1s per outpost, which is not too much. That's only like 30 prod assemblers to produce it at the rate we need. But yeah, that's still a lot. It's still a very fair amount. Yeah, let's look at the thing you sent me. Is this for the starter base? Could this work for starter? Hmm. I do like how you have the coal split, because then you only have to do the coal on one side. That's actually, yeah, that's not too bad. It is a bit hard to do belt like that by hand, but I don't think it's sushi sciences. Sushi science is also an option. It's just scary. Um, I think as long as if I use the same kind of logic I used on, oof, how would I do that? If I use the same kind of logic I use on my outpost to prevent them from working if there's no coal, then sushi science I think is an option. It sounds a lot trickier to do. Actually, could you just do would logic like this work? I feel like that would work, right? Enable, disable. Rebuild contents, hold. This might work. We put the logic in the wrong thing though. Solid fuels is greater than 0. This could work. Because this would make it that it can only run if there is coal. And there should always be 1 coal. I don't actually know. This might not be great. Because when an ideal sushi, I feel like this should be divided into 8s, but that's probably not really how it will work. It did manage to get some though. But yeah, some kind of sushi option could work. We could also just set up the coal part of it like way earlier. That would be no problem at all. Like if we just had the belt start saturating with fuel for like 5 minutes or something before we connected inserters, that would be okay. We can also hand feed it. There's like what, 5 assemblers, so yeah, we can consider sushi science. It will have to be a yellow belt because we can't grab from a red belt. What does that limit us to? 15 divided by 8. That limits us to about 2 science per minute. Is that a lot? I feel like that's not that much. What do we average for this? Red science. I'm sorry, over 10 hours. It's not called red science. Science pack. Yeah. Yeah, we're fine. Well, okay, it's actually not a great comparison because this run took 30 hours. We probably will need 2 science per minute. Which sounds like such a low goal. But yeah, the sushi belt is limited to 2 science per minute. Unless we do 2 sushi belts. 2 sushi belts is an option as well. I think that's what they do in 100%, right? Or maybe they just have a new... or maybe they just fill at 2 separate points. It could just be that they fill it at 2 separate points. But yeah, so this is my design. Tice suggested basically flipping where the inserters are. Also, you don't have to have this belt on the side. I like not having the belt on the side there. I guess either way, you're gonna build it with lots of awkward. It's gonna be pretty awkward to build this regardless. Do I want to try to aim for the gap? Honestly, probably not. No, I probably need to keep the spacing. We'll see. Yeah, I guess it's not that bad. Either way, setting up the starter burner drills is gotta be rough. I don't like how it grabs from the splitter, but I think it's very easy to stagger it, so that's not an issue. And then the furnaces are here. Output, output, input, and we have, yeah. Grabbing them from a splitter is a bit rough. I guess as long as we prioritize it, it's fine. It can grab from the splitter. If we have it going to the right, grabbing from the splitter could be bad. Because what happens is it tries to grab it as it enters, and then it like keeps failing to grab it, which it has to be. It doesn't always cause a problem, but it's definitely something to be avoided. I pasted in the exact same spot. Yeah, this would work. This would work well. It's not, I mean, it's not good to set up, but it's not any harder than a normal design. That's the main thing. Like, no matter how bad it is, it's not going to be worse than a standard design. And then what we could do is we could just sideload this coal onto here and send it into the assembling lane, which I really like. This gives us, this is so much work for 6. Oh my gosh. This is, how, okay, I'm looking at this and I'm really thinking, like, how much work would it really be to hand feed? Because all I really need, right, before I can stop hand feeding is one full lane of iron. And that's it, right? One full lane of iron going to a smelting lane. So I would only need to hand feed for about, oh, it's not going to be 48. These are 50% larger. So it's going to be about, it's going to be about 120 belt for half a lane of iron. Plus, plus these. Okay, that I forgot about these. These complicated a lot. Is this 24? 27, close enough. Okay. There we go. Oof. 40. I need 48. I need 48 undergrounds before I can automate a smelting lane. I need 48 undergrounds to do a half a lane. This is half a lane. Well, technically it scales pretty well, though, to the other side. So it's actually more like 60 undergrounds for a full lane. That's actually not too bad. That's a, how much iron is that? Let's see. Where is an assembling machine? That is 20 iron times 60. Okay, I can live with that. So I would need a hand feed Burner City to get me 60 undergrounds. I feel like I can do 60 undergrounds without it being too bad. And then copper-wise, all I need to get is to logistics and some cables. Because it's, and some splitters, I guess. So since I don't need copper for anything else, like I don't really need electric circuits for a long time. Actually, wait, why do I have electric circuits here? Oh, literally for splitters. They're only for splitters. Yeah, we don't have to worry about those at all. Those can be hand-fed like once and I'll have more than enough. And I guess technically for offshore pump, but I don't think I need to make those because I'll be handcrafting the only one I need. Okay. So it's looking a lot more reasonable. I feel like, well, it's more than 200 belt though. It is more than 200 belt. Because I'm looking at this. and realizing this needs to be large, far enough away from the patch that I can use it for my main base. Or I could have an off-patch smelting lane that I somehow expand into the main base. But I probably don't want the whole main base to start like right next to the outpost, right next to the patch. Just because that sounds messy with all the things I'll need to connect, especially since those connections will not have blueprints. Is there a rule of thumb that they use and for how far they leave the space? Probably not gonna be in this blueprint, huh? Oh gosh, forgot about how UPS limited the pasting of blueprints are. That's what map view is for. But yeah, we could. I think we could do this. I could hand feed 500 belt. That is 10. So if I do like 30 drills in Burner City, that's only 10 iron per. That's 10 iron per second. And I need about like 5,000. So that's looking at 10 minutes of hand feeding. It would probably take me 10 minutes to build this. Okay, so yeah, a massive assembler mall that I check in every now and again is probably going to be the easiest thing to mechanically do. I don't remember, I probably stagger them like this. Yeah, I probably have one on the end because that minimizes undergrounds. Not a ton, but it does a little bit. And if I really wanted to, I could technically do this with 12 less, but not really. You can't really do it with 12 less because if you try that, it doesn't work very well because it's very hard to manually build it. Yeah, input. Okay. I like that. So entirely hand-fed on patch base. We can do 30 furnaces. I do like the idea of just doing like 30 drills here with a belt assembler. I think just a belt assembler would suffice. Because then I can do then I don't because this is the hardest thing to this is probably the hardest thing to hand fed because it's the thing I need hundreds of, and one stack of hand feeding only runs it for like 30 seconds. And I need so many of them. I probably don't need to hand feed these. Or I probably don't need to automate undergrounds as long as I have iron. Inserters. Right, I forgot about inserters. How can I forget about inserters? 24 plus 24 times 3, so I need 72 inserters. Plus whatever we need for the mall, which is probably going to be another 72 inserters. So 150 inserters. Those have to be automated then. Okay. I think I can live with this. So this gives me 30 things that I have to hand feed that are really close to each other. I just drop a little bit of coal in all of these and they should be fine. Hopefully. Hopefully they're fine. And then science will probably just be something like this. Because we need to get it working. We can probably just honestly, can we make do with one lab? I don't think we can make do with one. I don't think we can make do with one assembly. One lab. What's automation limited or logistics limited by? Logistics. It's 15 seconds. So it's actually going to be like it's a 2-to-1 ratio or 3-to-2 ratio. 3-to-2? Yeah, 3-to-2 ratio. I could do this. This could work. Is one stack of iron enough for this? Is one stack of copper enough? Because this just has to run to get me logistics. Like, I don't even need fast inserters. I don't even need fast inserters. Why? Why are these so bad? Okay, so I could do this. And this would be hand fed like 2 coal each, 1 stack of copper. Then I don't have to worry about these. Okay. So that utilizes the bottom half of the patch. Then we put some drills onto the side, which honestly we can just overlap them, no problem. If we, because I'm assuming there's usually going to be overlap between the copper patches, right? We just have to make sure that one gets a pure belt, or at least 2 drills should be fine. And then we'll have a power outlet here. Power outlet, not a power outlet. I call it a power flower, but it's not a power flower. It's like a furnace, a boiler flower. And we need a whole lot of coal. Like a 1-to-1 ratio at least, which is terrible. So yeah, this is workable. And then hand feeding wise, we can probably just have assemblers here, and that will be enough. One row of power. Okay, this is really easy to connect for power. I'll probably actually, like I mentioned, I'll probably overdo the assemblers. Because if you do more than you need, you don't have to click as fast or as often, which is nice. I could do this many rows of inserters pretty easily. And we could just have like 1 set of cables, 1 thing of gears, and then a bunch of miscellaneous that I drop iron into at the bottom. And these could be a blueprint, so I don't have to set them. We don't really need underground pipe. We need steam engines, we need boilers, and we need furnaces. And then splitters and circuits, right? We can also change these as needed, but it would be nice to just have them be the same. This is supposed to be splitters. I mean, that's not a terrible starter base. We can't really use it for anything later, which is a bit annoying, but that's not game breaking. We can put it pretty much anywhere on the edge of the patch, which is nice. So that leaves us like the actual meat of the patch to use for actual smelting lanes, which will connect right above it probably. And I have not decided how I want to do the smelting lanes yet. Because that does affect how I do the starter base as well. Let's see. We've already said there's a lot of different ways to set up drills. I guess the way I do the first lanes doesn't have to match up with how I do the future lanes. They can get different designs based on what resources I have. So I think for hand building, this is the best design. And if I need to combine them later, I can do a splitter. Not like I really need to. But that lets you build it like this, just long drags in a row. Or if you really wanted to, you could just run down and hold left click, which honestly I might do. It's a very fast way to build it. And I can't imagine the 100 inserters I waste in the beginning is going to be that significant for UPS. Yeah, something like this could work. We would need a coal patch. So coal needs to be self-feeding, which means we need to start it on one end like this, and then loop it around. But that's only for these first few. Oh, that's not right. That's not right. That's not right. And then we can stagger it like the other one. So the first one is going to be very uncentered, which I don't love. But now it's not uncentered. Staggered, yeah, they're like awkwardly facing the different direction, but that's just to kickstart this. And then they power the lanes below it. I think this is unreliable. I think we've done this before. This has problems because this outputs onto the close side of the belt and it can't be grabbed by the inserter. So if we want it to be reliable, we have to build it a lot slower, which I don't love. But if we build a lot of them at once, it would be fast enough. And then we can just send these across to the smelting lane. I wish I could hand feed the smelting lane. There's just too much coal required in this smelting lane to be able to hand feed it. Like, you can't just give it a stack of coal and expect it to, like, run for, like, 20 minutes. Because the internal buffer is so high. And just they consume twice as much coal as a normal smelting lane because of the inserters. It's really hard to hand feed them. Also, they just have such a small hitbox. But yeah, this is a decent way to start the coal. I haven't decided yet how to do the power plant. On-patch smelting, probably not a good idea with burner stuff. Also, we don't use much power, so yeah, we definitely don't need it to be on-patch. I think I will use... Do I still have it? Oh, I don't think I've shown it off. I don't see it. Let's see. Power, no, 3.3. Is it not 3.3? Why can't I find it? Power plant idea. There we go. I need to make sure I save this because it is fantastic. There we go. Okay, so this is an idea for the power plant, and I think it will be really good. I think it's a really good design for the power plant. Not for the first one, but for the first one that has bots. We'll have so many power plants designed like this, and it will be amazing. I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm actually gonna... I don't know if I saved that, so I'm gonna put it in my blueprint book. Oh wait, didn't I make a blueprint book at some point? Did I lose my blueprint book? I think I lost my blueprint book. How did I lose a blueprint book? Or did I make it somewhere else? Maybe I made it in here. I definitely made a blueprint book. That's why I put everything on my hotbar, because I had a blueprint book. Ah, well, whatever. We didn't lose anything, I don't think. It was just, we were supposed to have that. This is... I forgot. The trailer song is so upbeat. There is one in our inventory in the 1.2 slate. Aha! Thank you. I didn't check my inventory. I forgot. I forgot it just drags it away if you click on the inventory. Because normally I click them on the hotbar. There we go. There's the power blueprint. Wait, no, this doesn't even have the power blueprint. Okay, maybe I just never saved it. Now it has the power blueprint. Perfect. Which means I can delete all of these because they're all in this blueprint. Yeah, this is all right. I think it is a small enough burner city that I only have to hand feed. I can hand feed in long drags. To make it easier, I'll probably do an absurd amount of coal. Like more than a 1-to-1 ratio, like a 1 to 1.5 ratio. So that way I can hand feed larger stacks. That would help a ton. What else can I do to simplify it? No, that'll work. We give it 1 stack, honestly half a stack of copper each should get us to logistics. As soon as we get logistics, we can build this, which requires a fair amount of belt. But it's definitely viable. We don't sideload here, we just directly connect. Is that right? No. So these will just direct connect. This will give me 2 lanes of, well, will it? That's not where that's supposed to go. This is 1 half lane. Yeah, so we just need the splitter to combine the... Yeah, the splitter here is just to combine the fuel, right? And that'll just go straight through to half a smelting lane. That is so much for half a smelting lane. It just feels so suboptimal. And that's probably because it is. And then fuel will come from one side. Actually, this is the wrong direction. Well, okay, we don't know that yet. But all fuel ideally comes from the side like this, which will eventually be replaced with solid fuel, I imagine. These actually work really well. There's a limit for how long you can build this. So I might add a gap. Because this is a lot easier to build by hand than a splitter. We'll see. Or this is a lot cheaper too. But if we do this, once it gets stack size 3, it can fill a lot of lanes. We also have the option of doubling up. But they might be worse than a splitter. Hard to say. One splitter versus one burner inserter. No idea which is better. But those kinds of optimizations will have to wait until much later. But I do like this design. I do like that way of setting up a smelting lane. And then they need the inputs and the output, which is a bit annoying to build by hand, but no matter what, you're going to have 3 directions of inserters for every single half smelting lane. They're not fast to build. They're mechanically like twice as slow, or they're half the speed. I mean, I guess twice as slow is correct. It just always sounds weird. But they're mechanically like half the speed of building with electricity. If you actually have to add outputs. If you have to add inputs, they're like, 2% faster, I guess. Because you're saving on power poles, but for the most part, they're not. They're not faster. They're definitely not faster. And they're definitely not cheaper either. They save like, what was it? 1 copper? 1.5 copper and 1 iron for every inserter at the cost of wasting all of that on the output inserter and also needing like twice as much coal constantly. Yeah, they're really something. And this will go into a new mall, which will be the start of my base, which will look something like this. Not entirely sure exactly what it will look like, but it's going to be something along the lines of this, which will put gears on a belt for me. Because if I have fully automated belts by this point, I think I can start immediately going to a normal mall. Normal mall, yeah. For this. And then we can send this into probably like a... I want to say standard mall, but that's definitely not the right word. This also isn't super scalable. Well, it is scalable. I guess it depends how wide I make my base. I'll need to do some math at some point to figure out how I can make... Let's see, my goal is 1,000 yellow assemblers an hour, I think. Sorry, I hit my mic stand. What did these cost? I need... Okay, the goal was to have 2 of these per hour. So that's 800 an hour. And they each have 4 prod modules in it. Plus the ones they cost. So that means we need a grand total of 700 times 8. So we need about 6,000 prod modules an hour. Well, yeah, that's not that much. I mean, it's a lot. No, it's a lot. But it's not that much. I think. That's that's like 50 or 60 assemblers for modules. Yeah, that's reasonable. That's assuming I can get 2 of these an hour with bot placements. It might not even be that fast. But that's the goal. It's a very arbitrary goal, but that's the goal. And then we also need the assembly machines themselves, which require 300 copper or 300 resources roughly. And we need 800 of those. That's 240,000 resources. 240,000 resources per hour. That sounds like a lot, but I don't think it is. That's 4 yellow belts of resources. We have 4 yellow belts of resources going entirely into yellow assemblers. That sounds so expensive. But I guess that's only 2 smelting lanes, isn't it? If you have them with red inserters, red assemblers, or sorry, red belts with steel furnaces. Yeah, we can. Okay, that's it sounds like so much, so much. What about modules? Modules are harder to test since they have plastic requirement. We could probably say that's only, what is that? 50? We need 6,000 of those. 50 times 6,000. So that's another. Okay. So we'll have 8 yellow belts of resources going into our outposts, at least. That sounds way more reasonable than it should. Like, that sounds really high, but I don't think it is. Like, what did we have here? In our original design, we had 44. So that's... we had about 21. We had 21 yellow belt, 21 red belts. So, like, a third of this base going into outposts. That seems fair. And then the rest into science, I guess. Yeah. Okay. We'll need to figure out sushi science. I need to look up sushi science designs, because I've only ever done a splitter-based sushi science build. I've never done, a normal one with circuits. I don't know which would be better. Well, I guess if I don't plan to use it in the early on, obviously the circuit one would be better. It would be a lot better. But I don't know how to build it. I do know how to build a splitterless one. Sushi seems hard. Is it? I mean, you're just I guess because burner inserters are so bad. Yeah. Can you well, you can do sushi with entirely spaghetti though, or sorry, with entirely splitters. That might be better. And I think it's reliable. I think it's pretty safe. Let's see if I still have it. Burner 100, no. Burner percent. Yeah, I had it in this one. Yeah, and when I did a run just normally. Are you thinking of 1 lane for fuel? What do you mean, for the sushi? Uh, I would, I was thinking like 1/6 of it would be, I was just thinking of 1/8 of the belt being fuel. So like you have 7 sciences and you have one coal evenly split. Is it 7 sciences? It's 7 sciences, right? One, two, three, four. Yeah, 7 sciences. You made fuel part of the sushi and it's not working well? Is it just because the start time was so high? Or does it just not work at all? Because if we can just hand feed them like 1 coal to make sure they get some fuel, I would think it would be fine. But it would take a while to back up. Yeah, maybe we should do half a lane for fuel. And just put all the sushi on the other side. Which I don't know how to do. Um, but this was the original design. Kind of. This was the original sushi. We made the assumption that purple and yellow science would never break back up before the launch. But this can be expanded as much as you want and can do up to 8 resources. Of course, if we put coal on the belt, we wouldn't use coal as the random filter, but the idea is still there. It basically just uses splitter ratios and priorities to split the belt up to an eighth. So it like just keeps recycling things here. I haven't seen it break, but I feel like it can break. But maybe it will be fine. I mean, if it breaks, you can just repaste it. And that would be a huge concern. We did not end up putting coal in this one because I just hand fed these all like one stack of coal in the beginning of the run. I wish I knew more about I wish I knew more about sushi. Because this is the only time I've never used one. I've never done a circuit one. Might just look up designs. It really sucks that we're limited to a yellow belt though. Actually, are we limited to a yellow belt? We could probably do a red belt. I could probably do a red belt. We could also, there's the option of supplementing solid fuel at various points. So that way it fills faster. A blood belt design? That doesn't sound nice. Oh, that was weird. Was there a typo there? Because that sounds hardcore. I want to do a blood belt. Okay, so I think this design is solid. Where you keep track of every item on the belt? Oh. That sounds hard. Then again, everything involving sushi sounds hard to me because I have no idea how it works. Okay, this is clearly not built, right? There we go. That looks better. This is so many assembly machines. I don't even think it's Tesla's right. No, this is good. This is good. Yeah, I'll figure out spacing later. I think designing this part of the base is going to be easy-ish. Because this part of the base is only going to be like 30%, 20% of the run. Probably like 15 to 20% of the run. Actually, that's a lot. But yeah, it's going to be a small enough portion of the run that I don't think I need to make it amazing. Like, I don't have to make it mechanically perfect. I just have to make it consistent. And this design is consistent. Because once I get bots, it doesn't matter how the base looks. It just matters that it's cheap and fairly compact. But mostly cheap. And consistent. Sorry, cheap and consistent, I guess. And this is very consistent for bot building. And I don't want to have my entire base on circuits. Yeah, I'll have to look into sushi designs. Because we have the option. We can do sushi designs, or you can just do the beacon flower thing that we made. It's simple enough to make. You just make a memory cell, then you add items to the memory when they enter, remove them when they get taken. Oh, like with decider combinators or something. Oh, so you don't have to keep track of every belt. You keep track of the inserters going onto the belt and off the belt. Because I was picturing this, which maybe that's what you mean. But this is what I was picturing when you first said that. Just an entire belt of circuit connections, which would be really silly looking. So how does that work? Does that just look to is the goal for that just to average red wire? Does red wire look better there? Or do I just need to go with my goal, what I used to do in any percent runs? Because red wire is faster, everybody knows that. Or it was. Yes. Wait, I have inserter. Inserters are limited. Red wire for blood. Ooh, good point. Good point. Good point. But we're inserter limited, right? What? How much do these move? Is there anything I can research? Probably follow a robot count. I wish I could speed these up. Oh. These are working overtime. These are working hard. I don't know if burner inserters are fast enough to do a sushi belt, are they? Not with beacons. Because like if we do a sushi belt, we can only have one inserter. Editor. Or sorry, we can do up to 3 inserters. Or we could do a sushi on each half, I guess. Technically, we could input from both sides. This already works terribly. Yeah, this doesn't even run full speed, and this has 6 inserters. Inserters are not... These aren't good, are they? These are not good. If only you could increase... If only you could make them work whenever it was, like, at 3. Like, increase the internal capacity of something. Just because the delay is so high from starting and activating. Like, it can supply this constantly if it moved constantly. But because it can't move constantly, that makes it not work. It's just, there isn't enough time between it registering 1 and trying to, like, refill it. Maybe it would work better without a stack size. Oh, wait, this is... Ooh, wait. Unfortunately, you can't force inserters to work. Yeah, that's the unfortunate part. I forgot this one's doubled up. So most of the bottleneck is from that. Okay, so it just can't do 2 resources, but that still would run into an issue if I had, like, 20 assemblers. Unless you use... Yeah. I don't think we should be cruel to our... I don't think we should be cruel to our inserters. They're working hard. I mean, I make fun of them all the time, but, you know, we can't be that mean. So, if I wanted to do a sushi belt... It would need probably this. It would need this many inserters. That's a lot. That's a lot of inserters. I mean, that's no more inserters than any other design. It's just... I would have to connect all of them to the wire. Or I could connect all of the belt. With how many inserters I have, just connecting the entire belt and reading the belt contents doesn't sound awful. Unless it just doesn't work. But like conceptually, it seems like it might be the same. Probably has a lot more overhead. So probably not a good idea. Why am I doing this to myself? No, I do like it. It's just when I have to do something really weird like sushi that I start to realize how awful these are. Like designing the outpost was really fun. Designing sushi around inserters just feels like blasphemy, but it also is just so... They just clash with each other. That is fantastic. Like the dichotomy of burner inserters and circuits is just so great. They should not go hand in hand. But that's it. That's it for me today. I think my brain is melting from burner designing, which is why I've only been doing it like 3 to 4 hours a week. Because yeah, I don't wanna burn myself out before we do the 12-hour run. But yeah, that's it for me. I should be back. Let's see. It's Christmas weekend, right? I don't think we do anything in the afternoons generally, so I should have a fairly normal streaming schedule for the next 3 days. Not sure if I'll stream on Christmas. I might do a fun Christmas run, but that depends. We might be visiting my sister. So possibly a stream on Monday. If not, I'll finish the no pipe run on Tuesday. Actually, I'll probably finish that one on Tuesday anyway, because I would want to do a Christmas themed run. But we'll be doing space exploration tomorrow and Saturday. Sunday will either be a Christmassy thing or space exploration. But yeah, that's it for me today. Hope y'all have a wonderful evening. I'm gonna go hopefully finish up my my mouse only run. I've been pretty close to finishing it, but I'll be uploading it here on my YouTube channel. My goal is Saturday. A post-commentary version of the mouse-only run. It wasn't supposed to be entirely post-commentary, but the audio quality was kind of botched, So I made it entirely post commentary. Yeah, hopefully that goes live Saturday if I'm happy with it. Yeah, lots of stuff this weekend. So yeah, have a good one. Peace.